I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this.
Love this show.
The sickest night ever.
Is this?
What are we doing?
No.
How are we doing, everybody? Welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. It is I, Juan Keel 43, here doing the opening because Chico Noise, aka Gunner, aka Small Guns, aka Mr. Three Time himself, is tired of doing the intro. So here I am trying to pull the weight of said leader. So welcome back. Just glad everyone can be here. And Gunner, how's your week, brother?
It's not too bad. It's been a lot going on in my life. A lot of exciting things. I'm not gonna mention everything that's going on right now because none of it's set in stone yet. But let's just say there's a lot of big changes coming. So, it's exciting. We've done some fun stuff this week. Next week's episode, Conrad John, we recorded this week. And it was a blast. I actually was so excited about that episode. I edited it
Yes.
immediately after,
Okay.
and then I listened to it.
Wow.
I'm not going to say how many times I've listened to it.
Yeah.
But I've listened to it a couple times. And man, it is so fun to go back and listen because I don't know. He mentioned at the end that we had some really good conversation, just so y'all out there know. And I feel like he's right. I mean, it was a fun episode. I think we both had fun. Talked about music, talked about football. So that'll be next week, episode 27. This episode 26. Other than that, man, I'm good. It's been a short week, which is awesome.
Yeah,
And
it has.
I love having one day less during a week, but at the same time, I hate it because it seems like it makes everything drag. And you get those like 4 days, you're like looking forward to that weekend coming up, and then the rest of the time is just so slow. So that's been kind of a drag. But other than that, it's been good. How about you?
I'm picking up what you're putting down there. I would say it's a good week, kind of like you. For what we do at work, it's kind of the slow seasons, I call it. Tis the season, so it's just that changing of ACs to furnaces, and the weather's actually nice outside, so people open up their windows and don't run their ACs. So it's just it's a little bit slower at work, but we're staying busy. So yeah. That's really about my week. Not to hype up that interview with your boy Conrad, but yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. First interview, and I know you really took the lead about 95% of the time. So
That's all right.
I thought you did a great job. I'm super excited to hear it. You haven't given me the privilege of getting to listen to it. So
Oh wait, no, I asked you. You said no. I'll wait. I'm
that's
like,
right. I want.
like,
to,
all
I
right,
want to
all
wait.
right.
I want to wait. I can wait.
I
But
might
no,
listen
I
again
thought-
tomorrow.
I thought it was really insightful, and he's a really, really good listen to. So I really hope we get a lot of views, and I really hope mostly what comes out of it is that he kind of gets a little bump from us. And I know it probably might not be much, but I mean, if he just gets, I don't know, a couple 100,000 from our tens of viewers,
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool, because he seems like a pretty cool dude altogether.
he is. I wish like I said it in the pod. I wish that we had a bigger listening, a bigger wide range of listeners, because if somebody from another country or somebody from a further away state could hear his music and listen to the pod and then go check him out, and if that could just give him a boost, just that little boost. We're not quite there yet with the Call Guys, but that's okay, because one day you never know what's going to happen, and hopefully he does blow up and go big. But yeah, next week, episode 27, I am pumped for y'all to hear it. So
Me too. I'm excited to hear it. So
Yeah.
with me at the helm, it's going to be a little bit more helter skelter. So we're just going to kind of bounce around and kind of just get to whatever we want to get to, and then we get to our topic that we get to in about 40, 30 minutes from now. So Skylar, I really hope that hits you in the right spot when you're getting ready to walk into work, so you have something to look forward to. Uh, so yeah, this is my first time doing it, so if what we want to do, if you really want to badmouth me and tell me how bad of a job I'm doing, you need to go to thecallguyspodcast at gmail.com and tell me how bad I'm doing. Okay? I would appreciate that.
I mean, I
So-
think you did good for your first intro. I didn't think it was too bad.
See, I'm a pessimist at heart.
Yeah.
I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. I am a Chicago fan for 2/3 of my favorite sports teams, and that's the only thing we know is how to be the most negative fan bases ever, and it's never going to get better. I'm convinced.
It will.
I'm
It will.
convinced.
Every team has their ups and downs, no matter whether it's baseball, basketball, football. Every team has its ups and downs.
108
Life-
years. 108 years for Cubs to win a World Series. You tell me. Tell me.
And they won one, didn't they?
I have family members who didn't get to see one.
I'm sorry.
But that's what I think about. I'm thinking my son is never going to see the Cubs win a World Series.
Well, hopefully he lives to at least 110.
I mean, he's got, I think let's see, he's got 100 years. If he can live 100 years, he'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a whole nother different story and another different topic that we
Yeah.
don't really like to get into a whole lot here on the call, guys. So, but you know what I think? You know what time it is? You know what time it is, Kevin?
No, tell me.
It's the question of the pod. It's the question of the pod. This is
Question
episode
of the
what,
pod.
26 now, and you
26.
don't know that we do this?
Oh, I've never
Wow.
heard of this.
Wow.
I've never heard of it. I
Wow.
don't even know what you're talking
Come
about.
Help me out. Help me out. I thought you ran this show. Jeez, here you are, handing the keys, giving the kid the Corvette.
I am almost a guest right now. Almost.
I'm just waiting for you to say, "Hey, we're gonna cut that out."
All right, we're gonna restart, and I'm gonna start this up. What you got?
Oh
What
my.
you got for the question of the pod for episode 26?
This one does come via email at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com
Mhm.
from a longtime listener, first time emailer, except for he put 8 questions in one email. So really, is it his first email to us? Really?
I mean, technically, yes, it's his first email, but he kind of cheated his way through. He should have sent 8 separate emails.
He should have. Snake Plissken, this is from you. So, yes. He wrote to us, would you rather lose the ability to walk for 1 week every year, which you don't know when that'll happen, or lose your sense of taste for 4 weeks, but you get to choose which 4 weeks?
I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with the taste.
Ooh. Okay.
I feel like I mean, if you get to choose the 4 weeks, and if it's 4 weeks, we'll just say it's 4 weeks straight, right?
So a month.
I'm gonna eat everything and anything I don't like. Just anything and everything. I'm gonna eat full onions just to do it.
Oh.
Like people with like when they first got
Oh, yeah.
COVID and they were losing their sense of taste, people were eating like the most random stuff. I think that's what I would do. Like I know I don't like certain things, which I wouldn't say I'm a foodie, but I like food, and I will pretty much eat just about anything you can find. There's a couple of things I won't eat, and I could probably make myself eat them. But if I couldn't taste it, I'd go for it.
That's
So
fair.
yeah. If
That's
I
fair.
picked the month, and I'd probably pick like, oh man, I couldn't pick fall. I couldn't pick the fall because you just make so much good food in the fall. Once you start getting a little cooler outside, you got all the soups and the chilies and you kind of, I mean, I think I grill more in the fall than I do in the summer, which is
That
kind of
makes
odd.
sense.
But yeah, I would totally just,
I don't think that's that far off.
yeah. But I mean, you could literally probably eat just about anything if you can get away from like the mouthfeel of it. If you can't taste it,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out into the yard and pick up a pile of dog crap and eat it. But like, I mean, give me something gross food wise. I'll give it a try.
My
About you?
my boss's daughter, she ate dog food.
I know a lot of people that have tried dog food, dog treats, stuff like that. I mean, you open a pack of like those bacon dog treats and it smells like beef jerky. I mean, it's kind of tempting. I mean, I haven't done it, and I don't think I ever will, but like it actually smells okay. Like there's some dog treats you open, it's like, oh, how do they eat that? Or even like dog food or like wet cat food, like no chance. But if I didn't have a taste, wet cat food would probably be like the texture of tuna.
Oh. Oh.
You might have bad breath for a while.
So I think I'm gonna go the other way. I think I'd go with the lose the ability to walk for a week. Mostly because I have had 3 knee surgeries and I would be okay with not walking or feeling any pain when I have to move. Like today I went out to dinner and my son he decided to throw some goldfish on the ground. And it was a struggle to A, get out of the chair, B, squat down to pick up said goldfish, and then C, stand back up.
Mm.
So to have that ability to not feel anything, that would be great for me.
You're pretty much paralyzed at that point for a week.
Yeah. And I'd be okay. I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
Well, my question is, does it happen at like midnight? Right? Does it happen at midnight while you're sleeping?
I don't know. I don't know when it'll happen.
Snake, we need some answers for this question.
We do.
Do you is it a month straight or do you get to choose 4 different weeks out of the year? I could have a week in each season where I can eat whatever I want. Or is it with the other one is it happens at any moment and you don't know when it's going to happen obviously, but could it be at noon? Could it be at 6 p.m.? Could it be at midnight? Right? And if it's at one of those times, what if you're at the store walking around and your legs just give out? And then you're laying in the middle of you better have a wheelchair on hand. Throw that baby in the back of the car, fold up one, bang, you got it.
See, I think the problem is that it's only for a week, but you only really are gonna like quote unquote panic for that short amount of time when you realize, oh crap, I can't move to, okay, who can come get me to help me out?
Nope, it's that time of the year again. Here we go. Oh, legs give out.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's an interesting question, but you're right. Every question he does have, most of them we do need to figure out.
A little background.
There's a lot of gray area.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of loopholes. I think, like it could be, you feel it coming on. Like you feel like your body's going numb, and you're like, oh crap, I'm about to lose my walking again, third year in a row. Like Bree, go get the wheelchair because I'm gonna need it.
Oh my.
That's a great question. I mean, those scenario questions like that where you have to pick one or the other, that's good. I think that could spark a lot of good conversation, even with like say episode 30, beer 30.
Oh my, what's that one gonna be about?
Which is coming up here in 4 episodes, where we're going to wrap some topics around the tops of beer bottles and sit down with a couple of guys and drink some beer and read topics off those beer bottles and just kind of answer questions, talk about a topic, whatever comes about. And, you pull the beer, you read the topic, you start the topic. You don't necessarily have to talk. You could ask that question to somebody else. Everybody could talk about it. It might be a 5-hour episode for all I know.
I know. I was talking to somebody else about it today, just kind of like going over the dynamics of the show. And I was like, dude, this thing could last 30 minutes or it could last 4 hours for all I know. I just know it's going to be somewhere in between there.
Yep. It's going to be interesting.
So yeah,
it's going to be very interesting.
Thank you, Snake, for sending us that question. Really appreciate you. Do we need to check out any other? Should we check out if there's any other new mail.
Oh, there
that we
was
need to
a
read?
there was a new email today.
What?
We keep getting emails from the same people, but you know what?
That's okay.
Keep on sending those emails.
Big shout out to Dwayne here.
Yes.
Thank you for the email. And I just read this for like the first time, and I already love this. I want this to be a real episode.
I read it. I read it earlier.
Because I mean, this is what I grew up on, and
Yeah.
the topic was top 5 war movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched Full Metal Jacket probably when I was 10.
Mhm.
Which you should probably not watch
No,
that movie when you are
not
10.
at all.
I grew up on Hamburger Hill, which is it's a Vietnam movie.
Yeah.
Siege on Fire Base Gloria. And I'm telling you, if I was older than 10 or 12 when I watched these movies, I would be surprised.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are just type movies I kind of grew up on. So, so a little bit of the childhood there. So put it on the docket. So
I think so too. There's a lot of good war movies out there, and
there's
maybe I'll talk to him. I'll give him a call and see if he's got any stipulations on that. Like it has to be like an actual like war. Like it can go from anywhere from like the Indian War to what we're in now, like what we do now. Or is it like medieval? Could we go back that far? Do we go to stuff like Troy and stuff like, because those are technically war movies too.
yeah.
So
I would say that's a war movie.
yeah. So maybe I'll ask him. I'll ask him that and see what he says. That way we can get a little bit of stipulations to add on to the episode. Dwayne, it's going on the docket, and we're gonna put it on in there. And
Put
we
it
are
on
going
there because
to
I'm telling you that's
do it.
great.
good.
That looks
It's
like it's it. So
You know what?
What's that?
That would be a great episode for the Skywalker.
Ooh. I thought me and him were just gonna get in a boxing ring and be done with it.
Well, that could just be the opener. We'll just ring the bell and let you guys go at it.
He kind of worries me a little bit. I know I got the size, I got the length, I've got a lot of measurements on him, but it's those short, crazy little dudes are the ones that just always worry me because you got to take care of those dudes quick because they just keep coming back. And
Yeah. Something tells me my brother has a hidden talent in like the martial arts or something.
see, and I'm just feeling like he could just like wail and connect on like every single one, and there I'd be trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But
We didn't fight a lot growing up, so I never got to see the genes of martial arts come out.
I've got
so.
I got no insight. I don't want you as my
Nope.
corner guy.
Nope. I'm gonna give you some water and tap you on the shoulder and be like, "You got it, buddy. Go."
I don't think it lasts. I don't think it'd be long.
Wait, I gotta be in both those corners. I can't not be in my brother's corner too.
Well, hey man, like I said, I don't think it's gonna last long. So
One groin shot, Colton's done. Skylar,
hey, man,
just kick him in the knee.
I gotta fall somewhere. Just remember that. I gotta fall somewhere.
Yeah. We all know your
Oh,
weakness, so.
Yeah, that's if I catch you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're
I just run.
I'm fast. Watch out, here I come. I'm fast. I'm fast. That's right. What else you got for me, Colton?
Man, you talked about Beer 30. We talked about Conrad. I really don't have anything to say to the Emperor about,
he
the
has
one
been
guy.
asking me and asking me and asking me, did Colton listen to Chiefs fans last week? Did Colton listen to Chiefs fans? I'm like, I'm pretty sure he did. He's like, what do you think of the Pinocchio syndrome?
Oh my gosh, I heard that and I was like, man, talk about a stretch. Talk about a stretch. Here's the Pinocchio syndrome.
A stretch? You made a pun. You didn't even realize it. Dad
You're
jokes.
absolutely,
Colton's
you're
a dad.
absolutely right.
Colton's a dad.
I can say those. It's
Yes.
okay. It's okay. I can say those. But anywho, I'm interested into seeing because our CEO and president is finally going to retire after 40 years of hell he has put this organization through. The only thing that kind of worries me is that I kind of like what moves our GM is currently made this offseason. He's just trying to rebuild everything and get away from the Nagy and Pace era. And He's trying to make his own, put his own stamp. It's his first GM job. And I like our coach, but the only thing that worries me is in college, whenever you get a new athletic director, the head coach of whatever, yet just whatever sport there is not the guy who or gal who the current AD hired. So in my eyes, that coach is on a short leash.
Yeah.
And they have a short amount of time to either A, win, or B, be productive on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that kind of worries me, is that I think that where we're currently at with our GM and our coach, we're already in rebuild. Like I'm excited 3 years from now. That's what I'm excited for. I think Fields is going to make a great leap. I think our offensive line is going to slowly improve in the next couple of years, along with the draft and maybe a couple free agents. And I think in the next 3 years, we are going to get a big time wide receiver. I don't know when, but I'm, fingers crossed we get a big time receiver. So I hope that these guys, the guys who are currently in there now, have the time to at least either succeed or just fail, do one or the other. So I'd rather have a team that's either really good or really bad, because then that way you know which way you're going. 500 teams you just can't get over the hump. You think, man, do I have the right coach in here? Do I have the right players in here? And it's just hard to gauge that. But yes, I do listen to the Indiana Chiefs. And I laugh every time he gives me a shout out, because it's mostly a dig.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I appreciate that. I'm just glad that you guys, landed the golden goose that is Patrick Mahomes. And I'm glad they've gotten you, quote unquote, out of the purgatory you guys have been in, because you're almost as bad as Colts fans, you know that? Because I am sick and tired of hearing Colts fans talk about, we don't have a quarterback. I don't know what it's like to not have a quarterback. Oh, our quarterback game's not good. You know what? You had Andrew Luck, you almost killed him, and you had Peyton effing Manning.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me you don't know what it's like to not have a quarterback, okay? I will not stand for a Colts fan to tell me about bad quarterback play, okay? Because it's been my entire life.
Well,
even when we won the Super Bowl, our quarterback was average.
Yeah.
He was a poor version of Brett Favre is what he was.
I mean, we had that too. I mean, we had a bunch of subpar quarterbacks for years, and
But
then
you guys were actually still making playoffs. You guys were actually still competing in your division. Like that's the thing. And with us, it's not that way. We've been either feast or famine.
It really wasn't until we had Alex Smith that we really started pushing.
Well, you had a couple good years with Trent Green, didn't you?
Yeah, but not
consistently.
Yeah.
But he wasn't as bad as, I take Trent Green over the quarterbacks outside of maybe Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I mean, name me a better quarterback that was. I can't. Like, that's just the problem with Chicago, is that we never go offense. We're all defense, monsters of the Midway. And by golly, that's just not how this NFL works. You need to be able to put points on the board. I think I've said this. I think I said this in an earlier Nagy rant. Who cares if you hold a team under 17 points, because you're not going to score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
If you can't score 3 touchdowns, who cares if you can hold them to under 17?
Yeah. The NFL has a lot of teams that are on the downslope, and then a lot of teams on the upslope. But NFL, I love your plus though.
I love your plus. I love your plus. That's another great line from the Emperor.
Yeah. Colton, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, which I'm going to let you get that going.
Okay. I
do have a couple things I want to cover also.
Oh yes, of course. That was where I was going next.
Oh, thank you. I do want to say something about a show that has come out recently that I am actually really enjoying. And I know you probably aren't enjoying as much as I am, which is pretty typical for when we watch TV shows. But She-Hulk has been very enjoyable so far. I just watched.
I haven't watched any yet.
Okay,
I'm waiting to build them up and go at the same time.
Yeah, I just finished episode 4. There's some really cool. It was kind of this episode was a little cheesy, but I'm enjoying it. I really am. A lot of the stuff they're doing. I've never read a She-Hulk comic, but I've read about She-Hulk She-Hulk comics, and I think they're portraying her really well.
Okay.
To be honest. And I've seen a lot of people that hate it. I've seen a lot of people that love it. So I'm hoping you like it because I'd like to have a Marvel show that we can talk about that we both really like. So that was the first thing. The second thing is tomorrow's episode of Indiana Chiefs Fans is episode 10. I can't believe we're 10 episodes into that podcast already.
Jeez.
But it is called The Wives Club. Unfortunately, our co-host, the Chief, is out with the Rona, and he is not on that episode. So his wife also has the Rona, and she is not on that episode. So me, my mom, my dad, and Sarah sit down, and we do our predictions for the 2022-2023 season. And it was fun. It was good to sit down, talk about, player stats, what's going to happen, record, Super Bowl chances, all that stuff. So if you get a chance tomorrow, if you're not busy, go check out the Indiana Chiefs Fans podcast, episode 10, The Wives Club. And hopefully you enjoy it. I enjoyed recording it, so
I will be listening.
I like it.
You like it? You like it a lot?
I do. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, I appreciate those plugs. One less thing for me to do because I'm going to count that.
No, you gotta do them all.
Oh, I gotta do them all. I gotta catch them all too.
If you're listening to this episode right now, just listen all the way to the end so you can hear Colton butcher the plugs. I don't. You know what? I actually don't think he's gonna butcher them.
Thank you really for listening to the Call Guys.
Yeah.
I think. All right. So, you ready to get to today's topic? Finally.
I am, and let me tell you, this is a topic. We switched some stuff around. This topic is hard.
Oh, yes.
Very hard.
With that being said, this week's topic is top 5 comedies.
Yeah.
I struggled with this one a lot. I had to actually break it down by actors and then go from those movies and go from that. That's how I kind of came up with my list. And I know I have some actors not in my movies, and I know I've forgotten them. So I already know Logan is probably going to blow me up in the group message for forgetting a movie and or an actor.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Forgive me.
Hey, at least he's saying it now. That way, well, I guess you just made it worse on yourself because now he really is gonna come at you.
Yeah, he's gonna. Hey, you remember what you said in episode 12 about this actor and why they were your favorite? Why did you say any of their movies?
Yeah.
I could see it, but no. Logan, Tusop, what's up? Excited for that eventually.
You guys are doing great. I'm ready for that crossover.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
With that being said, do you want to your eyebrows okay? You okay, brother?
No, I'm good.
You okay?
Yeah.
You could tap on the microphone once if you're safe, 2 if you're unsafe.
I'm safe.
All right, man. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I will go first.
Oh,
since you were hosting, I'm going first.
And as always, in official Call Guys style,
that's right.
We will go 5, 4, 3, 2. Honorable mentions. 1.
Yes, I like it. Okay, so my number 5, 1987, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Like I said, I struggled to pick movies for my top 5 comedies because I watch a lot of comedies. I love comedies. I love to laugh. I think that's my thing. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. I don't count myself as a funny guy, but I love to laugh. So 1987, Mel Brooks, the Star Wars parody we all know and love, Spaceballs. And in doing research about Spaceballs, I found a lot of other parodies, which I did know a couple of them, like Planet of the Apes, Transformers, The Wizard of Oz, and Phantom of the Opera. Those are a lot of the other parodies that they kind of fit in. I mean, you get the apes at the end. You get Mega Maid, who
Oh,
is
yeah.
a transformer. She's literally the Statue of Liberty with a vacuum cleaner. The Wizard of Oz, you get the all great and powerful when they're on the ship and they're announcing, and the announcers the yeah. And then I'm trying to figure out where Phantom of the Opera falls in, but I'm not really sure where it's at. I'd have to go back and really do some research to figure that out. But this movie stars Mel Brooks, who also produced and directed. He plays Yogurt and he plays President Scroob. John Candy, who plays Barf, which is a parody of Chewbacca. Rick Moranis, obviously, is Dark Helmet, who is a parody of Darth Vader. Joan Rivers, who voices Dot Matrix, which
Yeah.
is the C3PO parody. And then Bill Pullman, who is Lone Star. And that's a Luke and Han Solo parody. Mel Brooks, I didn't realize played President Scroob also. I always thought he was just Yogurt. I never really put it together because he's got like I don't know if how much makeup he has on to play President Scroob, and then the fake mustache and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's he plays Yogurt and President Scroob, who are parodies of Yoda and Palpatine. And it's one of those movies I could watch over and over and over again and laugh at the same exact parts every time. You got stuff like the Schwartz and the Spaceballs, who are stormtroopers, and literally the whole movie is them trying to get a code so they can get access to steal air from a planet with the Mega Maid. I love the movie. There's so many good scenes. I think my favorite scene in the entire movie is probably when they break the fourth wall, when Dark Helmet asks for the VHS tape of Spaceballs so he can figure out where the crew is.
Yeah.
And he puts it in, and they're like looking back and forth at the camera, and they're like, "Where are we now?" It's so good. There's so many good one-liners. It's such a good movie. You got Michael Winslow, who does all the sound effects, and he's missing missing the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps, and he makes all the sound effects for all those. Dark Helmet has the line when he finally gets to Lone Star towards the end of the film, where he's like, "I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate." And I mean, obviously parodies of Star Wars. And then the one line that most people really, really go back to is ludicrous speed. Put the ship into ludicrous speed, where they're going into hyperspace. And then the other one is, I guess there's a bunch. Oh man, there's so many lines I could think of. The luggage combination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a combination some idiot would put on their luggage. And then Yogurt and Dark Helmet just hating Yogurt, and they get jammed at one point, and he's like, "Yogurt, I hate yogurt, especially strawberry yogurt." Just a great film. And it's one of those that Darren and I really connected on when we were rooming together in college. Like, we both love Spaceballs. And like I said, it's one of those movies you can just watch and watch over and over.
Nice.
Sorry, that was a long explanation of Spaceballs.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say, man, I don't have any of that. Like,
no, that's okay.
None of that. Man, my number 5. So I like I said, I did mine a little bit differently. I went by an actor, so I'm gonna try to just keep one actor to one of their movies into making a top 5 from there.
Okay.
So with that being said, I think I'm going to go with a Chevy Chase movie, and you can pick almost any vacation movie and put that in the number 5 spot.
Okay.
I think they do a little good job of parody the jokes from movie to movie. Um, the way, I mean, it's just it's that slapstick comedy that Chevy was just known for back in the day,
Yeah.
and he, I just Christmas Vacation, the pledge of the prayer
Mm-hmm.
from
I
Aunt
pledge
Bethany. I
allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag. You've got cousin Eddie, who is just gold in every single one of those movies, and and it's funny. It's like almost everybody has a cousin Eddie
Oh yeah.
if they think about it, and
Yep.
it's it's just you just don't know, and those movies are hysterical to me. So it was tough. It's tough for me to just put one in that spot, but I don't think I would put any others above that. So I would put the Chevy Chase Vacation movies in that spot.
Do you have
So,
one that's your absolute favorite of all of them?
oh, Christmas for sure.
Yeah, I think that is like the go-to vacation movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously at Christmas, around Christmas time, most people are watching Christmas Vacation.
So fun fact here. I don't know if you know this, but in that movie, they are Chevy Chase. His family is based out of Chicago.
Mhm.
This is the hat that Chevy Chase wears in the movie. This style of the hat right here.
The flat bill and all, or just the
Well, not necessarily the flat bill. That's just how I like to keep my hats.
yeah,
Well, it's not flat. It's got a little bit of an arc.
yeah,
It's not flat.
not fully
Okay.
flat. Okay.
Yeah, but it's close. It's closer to flat than it's closer to flat than curved. But anyway, total sidebar. But yeah, if you go back and look and watch this movie, this is the style, and even on the Bears official website, it was under like Chevy Chase Chicago Bears hat.
Nice.
And so that's one of the reasons why I got this hat.
I really like the green underbill on that hat, to be honest. That is sick. We could green screen that and just like put random stuff on it. We could put Soldier Field underneath that thing.
Oh yeah, what a toilet. So here's another Bears hat that my grandpa had. Yes, it's Fridge Fever for
Nice.
William Perry. The fridge for those who don't
The
know.
fridge.
But yeah, that hat also old school.
Green underbill.
Yep. I think it's
nice.
just the style that they did back in the day, and
That's cool.
so yeah. That's my number 5, brother. What's your number 4?
Oh, so my number 4, the first one of these movies is in my top 10. Now, the first one is in my top 10 because I wouldn't say it was something new and something crazy and something funny, but it was just a good movie, all black and white. Definitely an interesting movie in my top 10. That is Clerks, but I'm putting Clerks 2 in my number 4 spot.
Okay.
Because I think over Clerks 1, it is just a funnier movie. They went more towards the Matt and Trey kind of thing where they're just dumb humor and like just raunchy as they could be. I really enjoy Clerks 1, but I can watch Clerks 2 and laugh. Clerks 1 is more for watching for the actual filmmaking aspect of the movie, I think. I like I said, I just think it's funnier than the first one. You got Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. They come back as Jay and Silent Bob, which is actually post them doing Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So while they're literally outside, so in this particular film, because Jay and Silent Bob are just drug dealers that stood outside of the convenience store that Randall and Randall and Dante worked at, right? So Jay and Silent Bob at this point are now Christians. So they're standing outside, and the whole thing with, them trying to help them out and offer them money. And Randall's like, you guys don't have any money, but they have all the money from the royalties for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is
nice.
them playing the superheroes Blunt Man and Chronic. And it's just such a good movie. They work at a burger joint, which is like a McDonald's called Movies, Elias is a young kid that they have with them. They just do a bunch of funny stuff, and it's like it's Clerks, but they're in a burger joint. They're in a
Yeah.
fast food restaurant, and the best moment of the whole movie to me is when Elias is taking an order from a guy and he sees his one ring necklace, or I think it's a one ring necklace, and then they start talking about Lord of the Rings, and they one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, right? So they start quoting it, and Randall comes out and he says, "There's only one return, and it's not Return of the King, it's Return of the Jedi." And then they get this whole argument about the difference, what's better between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. And man, it's a super raunchy movie, but it's really good. It's a good story. I mean, for the most part, it's a kind of a love story, and then a buddy film at the same time. And I love it. I enjoy it. I love Clerks 1. I I hate to say I love Miramax for all the crap they've been through, but I enjoy the movies that Miramax did between what 93 and 2010. I think they did a great job. So,
Hmm.
despite all the crap that's happened since then. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's my number 4. Yours?
It's a good one. That's a good one, man. I think with my number 4, I'm going to go with, man,
You made this really hard on yourself.
I know I did. I just couldn't. I was actually just thinking about just doing like the actors and then my favorite movies from those actors. But then again, I didn't want to do that. So what I think I'm gonna do for my number 4, I think I'm gonna go with a Jack Black movie
Okay.
and Tropic Thunder.
Oh, that's it's not my honorable mentions, but that should be my honorable mentions. I love that movie.
It is. It's just dumb, stupid comedy, and it's just like everything that can go wrong does go wrong. They think they're filming a war movie, and it turns out they are really in Vietnam, in the
Mhm.
crap, and dealing with real things. And like Jack Black in it, Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr.,
RDJ.
who I always forget he's in that movie.
Yeah.
And then the skinny guy, the guy who knows all the stuff.
I don't know what his name is. He's been in a bunch of movies since
He's
that.
who's always in like a Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah.
I believe he is Canadian. So
Yep.
I can't think he's in Fanboys. That's on my honorable mentions list. Gosh, yeah, Logan, calm down,
Yeah.
Logan.
Fuel the DeLorean needs to be ready for the crossover episode. So.
But anywho, him, it's got, gosh, I can only think of his name as Kenny Powers. Eastbound and Down. Man, he's in Pineapple. Yeah. He's in Pineapple Express. He's a bad guy with Craig Robinson. Same people.
Yeah, I can see his face.
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. There it is. Yep.
He's in it. He's hysterical. You got a Tom Cruise in it with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh my gosh, I love like, Tom Cruise's freaking dumb character in that movie.
I don't know how they got those two to do this movie.
I don't know.
But when those two were in the same scene together, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just that movie, it kind of came out when I was in high school. It was just one of those movies you just turn on and you just keep laughing at it because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4 would be Tropic Thunder. So
it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I own it. I did own it on DVD. I think it's in my dad's stash of movies. So
I got it behind me.
Yeah, it is. I love it. It's I would almost say like Jack Black in Jumanji is Jack Black in Tropic Thunder. Same kind of role in the jungle kind of thing. And I love Jack Black, man.
Yeah.
I've never not loved a Jack Black role. Like I can go back to Shallow Hal
Shallow How. Yeah.
and
That's
like
on my list.
yeah, all those movies, man. I love them, love them.
What's your number 3, brother?
Did you just mention Owen Wilson at one point?
I mentioned.
No, you mentioned Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey and Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mention two actors that are pretty big actors, and this movie falls in rewatchable.
I think I know the movie.
It came out in 2005, starring Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. It is Wedding Crashers. And I think this movie hits every note that a movie needs to hit. It's got a love story, it's a comedy, it's a buddy film, it's sad, it's happy, it's up and down. Like it's got everything a movie needs to have. And the story isn't the best story. The plot, the actual script writing of the film is not great, but it is a movie I can watch over and over again. It's literally just two friends that do everything together. They fall apart because of a girl, and Jeremy, which is Vince Vaughn's character, wants to quit doing all the wedding crashing, and he leaves to go be with is it Gloria, which is played by Isla Fisher, who we've talked about in previous episodes. And they fall in love, crash weddings together at the end when Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams' character get together. Also, they technically crash that wedding by canceling it. So, I love the fact that they are divorce mediators. Like they literally work to help people get through divorce, and then in the evenings they go and crash weddings. I mean, it's just a fun movie. There's a lot of great actors in it. Christopher Walken's in there, Isla Fisher, Rachel McAdams, Vince
Forgot about
Vaughn.
Christopher
Yeah.
Walken.
I mean, and Bradley Cooper is even in it. I mean, like
Yeah.
you don't even think
Yeah.
about him being that young and that, or not really that young, but just not that big of an actor at the time. And there he is. And I don't know. I really enjoy it. One of my favorite scenes from the whole movie though is the Will Ferrell cameo. When he goes, or it would be John, which is Owen Wilson's character, where he goes to Chaz's house, which is Will Ferrell, and he walks in talking about crashing weddings, and Will Ferrell's like, "Mom, we have a guest. Make some meatloaf." And he's just yelling up to his mom, "Well, Mom, where's the meatloaf?" I love that scene because they don't even credit Will Ferrell in the movie. He's not even credited.
No.
He's just a pop up for one scene talking about meatloaf. Great movie. Love the movie. I've always loved Wedding Crashers. It pops up on TV. I'm watching it.
Nice. It's actually it's my boss's, like, one of his, like, top 3 movies all time.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
He only watches comedies. He wants to laugh. He wants to have a good time when he watches a movie, and he absolutely loves watching Wedding Crashers.
I have two feelings I want for a movie. I either want to be laughing hysterically, or I want to be just awestruck by what's happening. Those are the two things. I don't want to be scared. I mean, I
Same.
like films that make you like feel like you're. I wouldn't say scared, but make you feel the suspense.
I was gonna say I like suspenseful thriller movies more than like horror scary movies.
I don't really want to go on a thrill ride through a movie, but I like the feeling that it gives you. But I would much rather laugh through a movie or be like sad during a movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
So,
Colton. Yeah, I could get behind that.
Colton.
Yeah, brother.
Number 3.
Man, my number 3. Here we go. I've been thinking about it. Diddly dum dum. My number 3 is an Adam Sandler flick.
Okay.
I don't know why, But when I was watching this, is back in the time when I really wanted to be a football player, and I watch this movie all the time, and I don't know why I did, but obviously saying that it
Oh,
was a football movie
the
is The
the
Waterboy.
Waterboy.
Um, to me, this is peak Sandler film esque with, you know, you got Billy Madison, The Waterboy, and you got just like those movies were kind of his, to me, his height of movies.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what it is about that movie, but the professor telling him,
No,
"Oh my,
Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Alligators are ornery because of medulla oblongata.
guess what, class? Mama's
I'm
wrong again."
Everybody that's listening to the call, guys, right now, there is a big Waterboy reference coming up in episode 27.
I was just getting ready to say that.
and I am so excited for that to hit, man.
Me too. If you want to know the reference, listen to the next week's episode with our boy Conrad.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about this movie, but it makes me laugh. It makes me feel good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I made Sarah watch it. I've made Sarah watch the entire Adam Sandler docket at this point. And
Well, you're
I
a big
love-
Sandler guy.
I am. Big Daddy's probably my favorite.
I got that. That's on my list.
My favorite Adam Sandler movie. Mr. Deeds, Don't Mess with the Zohan, Billy Madison, The Water Boy.
Gosh.
Like, dude, there's so many good Adam Sandler movies out there. And the fact is, they're not really great. Like,
they're not good. They're not good.
cinematically.
It's not a good movie, but it's a fantastic
Exactly.
movie.
It makes you laugh. It makes you want to watch it again. That's a good movie.
Happy Gilmore. I mean, The Water Boy. And a Captain Insano powerbomb.
Yeah. Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
I love when Vicky Valancourt soups up his tractor.
Oh my
and he's
God.
hauling down the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just that movie.
Yes.
It's something. So
It really is.
that is my number 3, sir. So as always, Gunner, your number 2. Does it make you cry?
Funny enough, my number 2 is also in my top 10. And it is one of the movies that is not on my wall.
Oh.
It is Big. And Tom Hanks plays Josh Baskin. Came out in 1988. I struggle calling this a comedy, but I think it is a comedy. I think it's there to make you laugh. Like, he's working at the toy store. He makes a wish at the Zoltar because he can't get on a ride, right? He wants to be big. He wants to be able to do the things he wants to do, and it kind of backfires on him. He becomes an adult. He has to go get a job. He has to go live a life that he doesn't know how to do it. And I've always loved this movie. To me, you can watch this movie any time of the year and really enjoy it, even though it kind of falls in the toy making industry. So you kind of want to watch it around Christmas just to watch it at that point. I love the scene. And this is also another, when I was in my film studies classes, we had to do a top 10 movies, which is why I have these posters. And Big was in there. And when I did my list, I gave myself some stipulations on my list. I had to have the director, the date it released, the title, my signature scene, and then just a synopsis of the movie. And when I went back and looked, my signature scene for Big is the chopsticks scene when they're in the Macy's store. I think it's the Macy's store. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. They're in one of the big stores down in New York City. And him and the CEO of the toy company are playing chopsticks on the big piano on the floor. And as a kid, my grandma had this on VHS and it was always right there above the TV. So it was always like, it always stuck out. So I'd always look at it and be like, I need to watch that. So I'd watch it. And then from then on out, it was like growing up, it was a movie I always wanted to watch, I guess. And that was before I knew really who Tom Hanks was and, what he's done in his career. So I love the movie. I think it has a really good message as like don't wish you were grown up. If you're a kid,
Be a
live your
kid.
life, be a kid. You know, it's not all great on the other side. It's not the grass isn't always greener kind of thing. And I've always loved it. I always thought it was one of those movies that kind of shaped me as I would say filmmaker, but I've never made a full length film. So shaped me as somebody who wanted to study cinematography and film.
Nice.
So Big, love Big.
Good movie.
Yeah. Colton, does your number two, okay, Big does not make me cry. It might make me cry. It doesn't make me cry. Does your number two make you cry?
Does my number 2 make me cry? No, it does not make me cry. But it is a Simon Pegg movie. And everybody now knows that I have a deep, deep love for the Cornetto trilogy.
Mhm.
And I am just going to go to where it all started with Shaun of the Dead. That movie, on so many levels, makes me laugh all the time. It's one of my most rewatchable movies. I enjoy it a little bit more now that I've watched the TV show Spaced, which I've kind of referenced a couple times, which is
Yeah.
Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg's first mashup together. And there's a scene where the movie, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and their whole crew is trying to escape through some alleys in the back, and they run into another crew who's the exact opposite or the exact same, and another one, and it's mostly the people from Spaced.
Yeah.
Like ever since I've learned that little tidbit, it's made me appreciate that movie even more. But it really doesn't do with any of the funny stuff. But I love the scene when they're jumping behind the fences in the back, and Simon Pegg nails them, and then Nick Frost goes through the first one, just falls right through it. It makes me laugh every time. I know it's coming, but I laugh every single time because I can.
That's what makes a good comedy, though. If you can laugh at the same moment every time you watch the movie, that is a good comedy.
I think then one of my next favorite parts of the movie is, you've seen Shaun of the Dead, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Sean is in the back. Gosh, I can't think of Nick Frost's character name, but Simon and Nick are in the back, and they have a zombie in the back, and they're trying to figure out ways to get rid of it. And then they hear on the news, bash it in the head to get rid of the head, the brain from the head, or something like that.
Yeah. Sever the brain from the head, or sever the
Yeah.
head from the body.
Something like that. So they're going through they go to the shed and they're going through his old records, and just they're going through, and they're like, that's my first album I ever bought. And he just chucks and he misses. The Batman album, throw it. I mean, to me, that little scene is just gold in itself. You can go through when Simon's coming up with a plan on how to keep everybody safe, and how that go. Man, I wish I could remember the sequence of it right now.
Yeah.
It starts all the it starts all of the jokes for the rest of the movies that carry on throughout the trilogy. So I really appreciate that movie, and kind of how that movie is a front to back, like it goes through halfway and then it flips halfway through, and then you're watching the same thing again, but only in a zombie-vied version.
Yeah.
Probably one of my most quotable movies with my buddies is Shaun of the Dead. Shaun. That's usually the number one. Is somebody killed? Oh no, I better not say that.
Yeah.
There's a when this is coming out, the queen has passed. The real queen of Great Britain is passed, and there's a scene in there where the jukebox comes on and a Queen song comes on, and somebody yells, "Somebody killed the Queen!"
Mm,
So it might be bad timing, but it's a funny quote in the movie.
yes.
Condolences to our
Rest in
friends
peace.
across the
Rest in
pond.
peace. Rest in peace.
So yeah, Gunner, honorable mentions.
Oh man. So I have what I say 8, I think.
Dude, I don't think you got more than me.
I've got 8, and I'm gonna keep them simple.
Okay.
I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan.
Okay.
But I do love Talladega Nights.
Okay.
I think it's a hilarious movie. I think a lot of one-liners in it. Deadpool.
Ooh,
It's
good
one of those
one.
movies I can watch and laugh every time. I think She-Hulk kind of catches those Deadpool vibes a little bit, which is kind of nice. She's not as raunchy, obviously. Well, actually, you know what? You're gonna watch it, and it is kind of a little bit here and there where it's like, oh, but yeah, Superbad, which we've talked about before. I
Yep.
love Superbad. Dodgeball, love Dodgeball.
Yes.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge
You
a
dodge a
ball.
ball.
I'm gonna go with an oldie but a goodie, The Breakfast Club.
Oh wow.
Teeters on comedy and drama.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Love the Brat Pack movies is what they call
Okay.
them. The South Park movie, obviously.
Of course.
Love South Park. Huge South Park fan. I do have Big Daddy in here as one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies, which I'm going to surprise you here in a minute. And then I have Project X, which
Project X.
I love.
God, what
Project
a terrible
X.
movie.
I love Project X.
I don't care what you say. That movie is awful.
I love it.
Awful.
I want my gnome.
Oh my, that's a good list.
Yeah.
So I've kind of, I've said some along the way. It's funny you put Spaceballs in there because I love the Mel Brooks films, Young
Mhm.
Frankenstein, Spaceballs, The Producers, but my all-time favorite Mel Brooks movie is Blazing Saddles.
Mhm.
Can't probably make that movie today, but the last 15 minutes of that movie is just pure chaos. And I remember watching it for the first time with my uncle, and I'm sitting there, and I was young, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, the heck just went on? Like,
Yeah.
what did I just watch? And I thought that was really, really good. That has, the ending to me is what makes that movie. I've got Will Ferrell movies in here. Obviously, we got Step Brothers. Obviously, Semi Pro. Talladega Nights, Old School. You're my boy, Blue. Blades of Glory. Zoolander.
Oh my gosh, I love Blades of Glory, man. I didn't even think about
Michaels.
it. And like I said, yeah, that's good.
Some Jack Black movies. Nacho Libre. Tenacious D.
Of course, yep. That should be right in my honorable mentions. Didn't even think about it.
Saving Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
You talk about Trey. Basketball.
Love basketball.
That movie is just that's another one. It's so
absolute
bad that it's
gold.
Good.
Absolute gold.
It's so bad that it's amazing.
I can't believe I put the South Park movie and didn't think of
And you
basketball.
didn't think about that. I was waiting for you to say it, but I was like, okay. And then I got some Seth Rogen movies in here. Pineapple Express. I love
Pineapple Express is such a great movie.
Yeah.
So dumb, but so good.
That's another one I watch out all the time in
college.
Yeah,
me too.
Knocked Up, 40-year-old version, Paul, and Fanboys.
Nice.
Even though he doesn't play a super big role in Fanboys, but I mean, those are just some of my honorable mentions. There's more, and this top 5 list could change tonight.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I actually think like mine could too. Even after what you've just said in your honorable mentions, like man, I kind of wish I would put basketball in here. Like, I didn't think about it's so hard to think of these movies when you're trying to think of that, you know.
Oh yeah, no. That's why I tried to go with actors and movies like quotes that I remember, and then just go from there.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do, man. So here we have made it to the almost end of the episode here. What is Gunnar Golden, Chico Noise, CN1922's
Mm-hmm. So
number one comedy?
I did just say when I said Big Daddy that I'm gonna surprise you with my number one, because I literally I wrote down Adam Sandler movies and I shuffled them around and I just picked one. because
Oh,
because I couldn't choose. Like Big Daddy
yeah.
would probably be one of my my top Adam Sandler movies. So I just picked one. And
What'd you pick?
I pulled Happy Gilmore.
Oh, it's great.
I love
It's-
Happy Gilmore. I literally had to toss these movies up. Like there was no way I was choosing one. We are going to have a future episode where we do talk about the Sandler verse and literally how all of these movies connect. They really do. I've watched videos. I've done research. Like I don't know why. Like it was a part of what I've done in my life, but I've been like all the stuff with Colonel Sanders, all the stuff with the O'Doyle's. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's so much underlying stuff that Adam Sandler does in all of his movies, which is super fun, super interesting. Happy Gilmore came out in 1996. It's not the greatest story ever, but it is a funny movie. You got the wannabe hockey player going to play golf so he can save his grandma's house from foreclosure. Adam Sandler, Carl Weathers, Christopher McDonald. Chubbs, which is Carl Weathers, actually makes an appearance in Little Nicky.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if have you ever watched Little Nicky?
It's been a long time.
So he is in heaven playing the piano in Little Nicky.
Ah, nice.
Like he's there with the angels, Nicky's parent, Nicky's mom, the angel. And that's obviously after he's died in Happy Gilmore when he falls out the apartment window.
Yeah.
I've just always enjoyed this movie. There's so many notable moments. I don't even know where to start. You have the Bob Barker fight.
Yep.
You've got the clown at mini golf.
Price is wrong, Bob.
Yeah. The clown at mini golf. You got him going to his happy place.
Oh yeah.
Shooter. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? What are you guys doing? Just trying to find the other half of this bottle. It's just got so many good moments. And then obviously that final shot that Happy has to take to win the tour to save his grandma's house, where it bounces off the TV tower, the radio tower, and goes in the hole, and he beats Shooter. And like I said, it's always been a movie that I can go back and watch, along with Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds, Big Daddy, Don't Mess with the Zohan, Grown Ups 1,
Oh, yeah.
2's okay, 1's good. I just enjoy Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I really do. People probably have different opinions, obviously, but
Oh yeah.
always
For
enjoyed him.
sure.
Always enjoyed him. Colton,
Yes, sir.
number 1, what you got?
My number one is a Will Ferrell movie.
Oh,
Oh yeah. It is The Other Guys.
oh yeah, good film.
Buddy cop movie.
Mm-hmm. Top tier.
It's I mean, it starts out with that chase, the chase with Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock. And you're thinking that this movie is going to be about them until, 15 minutes in, they jump off the top of a building aiming for the bushes. There ain't no bushes where they're jumping. I mean, it's commentated by not Ice Cube, but Ice-T. That was great. I think Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are two underrated people who work together, who just make it work because they just both can play opposite roles of each other so well.
Yeah.
A desk pop, of course.
Yeah.
Like
The desk pop.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
You know what's crazy about the desktop? The desktop. That's just the one thing. One thing about the desktop.
What's that?
Through our entire gaming careers,
Oh yeah.
that has been something that has just hooked. Every time somebody misfired in Fortnite or Call of Duty, somebody on the mic, desktop,
Desktop.
desktop,
That's
all
true.
the time. And that's where it came from.
That is true. Oh my gosh.
So good.
I mean, again, the story not the greatest. A little bit of a twist at the end. Eva Mendes as his wife is just a gold when they're being watched by the bad guys, and her grandmother is coming out, and they're exchanging things to tell each other is absolutely hysterical. uh just that movie to me, it's they're walking in the parking lot, and these motorcycle guys come up, and they pull up, and he's like, Columbia drug lords. And he says, how do you know, as he's going to work on them? And he said, and then at the end he says, man, could you imagine where you'd be if you hadn't shot Jeter?
Jesus.
He's a biracial angel.
This movie's
mean-
so good. So dumb. So good.
Oh my gosh. It has one of the Wayans brothers, Rob Riggle in it. The
Yeah.
Prius, Dirty Mike and the boys. I mean, just so many memorable, funny moments. And it's all kind of around the 08 crash, housing crash.
Yeah.
And that was kind of neat to learn about that in a different way, because at the end of the movie it pretty much just goes over Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes, and how the guys make money, and the Bernie Madoffs, and how long they're going to be in jail for, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, but still, that movie is just comedic gold to me. Terry always trying to go after Will Ferrell's wife. It's one of my favorite movies that I love to watch over and over again. So
Yeah.
that's my number one.
Good list.
Yeah,
Both
I like
ways,
your. I
man.
mean, like I said, we both had really good lists. I know we're missing stuff, and
This is one of the first episodes in like 20 that I've had to take handwritten notes.
oh my,
I didn't have time today to type them out, so I was like, I'm just gonna write them down when I had time. So
nice.
yeah,
Well, you know what? Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us to the end of this Call Guys episode. Really appreciate you guys and gals out there in podcast land.
yes,
Hope you enjoyed it. I know we enjoyed it. We always have a good time. If anybody has any thoughts on what I say, did I say something? You just gave me a look.
no, you're good. Keep going.
Oh, okay. If anybody has any thoughts, questions on our list, if you want to tell us your list, top 5 comedies, give us a shout at thecallguyspodcast at gmail.com. Yeah, I'd love to hear them. Love to read them out on air for the next episode. Well, technically in 2 episodes. But yeah, just thank you for joining us. And we that's awesome. Okay, for those who don't watch us on YouTube, but because we are on YouTube, go to the Call Guys podcast and like and subscribe. My cohort Chico Noise here is writing out notes in only Juan Keel for 3 style and fashion, so I can really appreciate him here for this. But just check us out anywhere where you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podbean, whatever the heck that is. Wherever you can listen to podcasts is where you can get us. So check us out, like and subscribe, pass this on, and you know what? We just might get more than tens of views and listens. So thank you
We're
again
better
for
than
all
tens.
that.
We're better than tens.
We're better than tens. I'm not going that far. We're on Facebook at the Call Guys Pod on Facebook. We are on the Instagram at the Call Guys. We're on the thing they call the TikTok at the Call Guys podcast. So check us out there. Gunner kind of does some stuff every once in a while when he's feeling it, but you know what? He doesn't need to. This man is overworked, which is why I'm doing this right now.
I told the Emperor that I'm gonna get a free weekend after all of this life stuff is over, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna edit 90 posts for TikTok, Instagram.
Oh my!
I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna burn through those. It's gonna happen.
Oh my!
Promise. Well, I promise.
You don't got to do that. And guess what? If you really like us, check us out at our merch store at thecallguyspodcaststore.com.
Yes.
And are we working on getting some new different merch from different
we're gonna start
vendor?
working on it. We're gonna start working on it. Yep.
Because I keep getting hounded about stuff I can't control, let alone even know about. So I'm really hoping that that we can
now that
get
you've
some
done
answers.
an intro, man, you're running this thing. You're running the merch store.
I get enough crap as it is.
Yeah. We're gonna fix it. It's gonna change.
For those who don't know, we are just one part of the empire that is known as Golden Image Podcast Corporations.
No, Golden Mojo Entertainment.
Golden Mojo Entertainment. We are just one of the many support ships that help out the Emperor in his quest for total podcast domination. Please go and check them out at facebook.com Golden Image Podcast. I am sorry. If you like, what was that?
That was the scroll, the credits
I
scrolling.
saw that scroll. That was a good scroll.
Thank you.
If you want great storytelling about solved and / unsolved murders that have gone on, check out the Murdnerds. They do a great job of just storytelling in that, and they do a really good job. They've done some interviews with some folks, and I think they've done a really good job handling and navigating that stuff. So check them out if you want to. That's facebook.com/Murdnerds. We talked about these jokers earlier on the podcast, but my boy Gunner here is a part of another podcast called the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. They talk about anything that deals with the Las Vegas Raiders.
SoFi Stadium.
Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, that's Allegiant. Sorry.
Yeah, SoFi is the Rams and
the other
LA team,
the Chargers.
Anywho, side note,
all the same thing.
Check them out at facebook.com IN Chiefs Fan the Pod.
Yes.
And finally, check out the boys, them Texas amigos, and those Indiana people. I don't know. I was trying to find something.
Team Dejas and Team
Dejas
Boozers.
and Boozers. That is, they make up the United States of Paranormal Podcast. I'm not the biggest paranormal fan ever. It's cool, great, glad they like it and are into it. I'm not, but I love listening to this podcast because they do such a great job of just keeping you engaged through the whole thing, even though it might not be something what's going on.
Can I give a shout out?
I'll allow it.
Because the rocker chick, aka Bobby, aka my mom, was on the Willow's Weep episode last week. Go check it out.
Yes.
She did a wonderful job. Mom, good job. You killed it.
Bobby, you need to get some more. You need to get some more plays. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all I'm saying.
You need to
get
start
out there,
carrying this.
That's right.
So I think you did a great job. So good job, Bobby.
She really did. She really did. Great episode. Great episode.
Check them out at facebook.com/the United States of Paranormal. And now that I have read all of the plugs for the Emperor, he will not come to my house and execute me, Order 66 style. So I appreciate that.
All I can say is you're lucky that he has not dropped off the homeless guy from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Good. I got a place right for him.
Colton, you did an awesome job. Just saying. It was your first time. I remember episode 1 when we were trying to figure all this stuff out. And I know you always tell me I kind of took the helm. And I mean, I'm not going to say that I wanted to force you into doing this, but I think it's fun to see, like, especially like after how many, 25 episodes of doing this. Like, it's fun to see what you've pulled from what I've done and threw it into your own thing. And maybe we'll start doing every other episode or something until you get like the flow of it.
I'm just trying to take the load off of you, brother. Okay, I know you're getting used like a pack mule. Okay,
Yep,
I
yep.
listen to the podcast, and it's, hey Gunner, read the socials.
Yeah,
Hey,
Gunner, you got
Gunner.
my socials for me.
Gunner, you got my socials
Yeah.
for me?
Right on. Okay.
I'm glad I'm not like illiterate.
What?
I'm glad I can read.
Well, you got that going for you.
I mean, you know what? The first 15 episodes I read off my computer, off my papers. After that, man, it's all up here. I don't even think
Yeah.
about it anymore.
Yeah, no, just thank you for giving me the opportunity. I've been wanting to do it, and that's all you needed to do was just tell me to do it. And like I've got no notes here, man. I've got nothing other than the email you sent me about reading the plugs. So
The plugs are the hard one because of all the Facebooks and like all of our socials. And once again, I have all that memorized now, but it's good to have it there just in case you stutter step.
yeah, so
You did
thank
good.
you again. Thank you again for everyone for listening. Hope to see you next week. Stay safe out there. Tell someone you love them. Later.
Tell someone you love them. Oh, that's too good.